Hello everyone. In this lecture I am going to discuss Fermi-Dirac distribution law and gas degeneracy. The Fermi-Dirac statistics is applicable to a system of fermions, which are particles having odd half integral multiple of h cross as their spins. The particles are considered to be indistinguishable and the fermions obey Pauli's exclusion principle. In the given phase space, each cell represents an energy state and only one particle can occupy that energy state. Some examples of fermions are protons, electrons, neutrons. As per Fermi-Dirac statistics, if Ni is the number of particles in the ith compartment and Gi be the number of cells with mean energy Ui, then at any temperature T, the number of particles I can be given by the relation as shown in equation number 1. In the denominator e raised to power alpha, it is related to A, where A is called the degeneracy parameter. This I have already discussed in Bose-Einstein condensation lecture, which is also as a video lecture. So Ni can be written as a function of this parameter A also. In addition to this, there is another parameter beta, which is equal to 1 over kT. This we will be using in next slides. This beta is related to temperature of the system and K here is the Boltzmann constant. Now the total number of all the particles which are having their momenta in the range p to p plus dp can be given by equation number 3, where Gp dp gives us the phase space cells in the momentum space. This derivation of Gp dp is given in another lecture, the detailed derivation about the number of phase space cells in the given phase space volume. And in this expression as shown in equation number 4, there is an additional parameter Gs. It is called spin degeneracy factor and it is due to the spin of the fermions, because the spin can be up or down, or you can say plus half or minus half h cross. Gs can be given by 2s plus 1. Now in equation 5 I have shown Np dp. Putting the value of Gp dp from equation 4 in equation 3, we have obtained equation number 5. Now we want to convert this expression in terms of energy U of the particles instead of P. We know that for non-relativistic particles, the energy and momenta are related as U equal to P square by 2m, or you can say the momentum is equal to square root of 2m U, where m is the mass of each fermion. Solving this, we get the expression for dp, change in momentum of the fermion, in terms of change in energy, that is dp is equal to square root of m over 2u du. Now we are going to use the expression for p and dp in equation number 5. Thus we get the expression now as shown in equation number 6, nu du equals to gs 4 pi v by h cube m raised to power 3 by 2 2u raised to power 1 by 2 du divided by A inverse e raised to power u over kt plus 1. Now we introduce another parameter x as x equal to u over kt, or you can say u is equal to ktx. From here, any variation in energy du can be written as kt dx as shown in 7. Now replacing the terms on the right hand side by terms carrying x, Thus we get the modified expression for nu du in terms of x as shown in equation number 8. Now we want to find out the total number of particles in the system. That can be given by n equal to 0 to infinity nu du. Means we will integrate the equation number 8 both sides from 0 to infinity, and we will get the total number of particles of the system as shown in equation number 9. Now the average or mean energy of each particle is U. Then the total energy of all the particles having their energies in the range U to U plus du can be given by U times nu du, and the total energy of the system then will be integration of U into nu du over the limits 0 to infinity. This will give us the total energy of the system, and using the expression kTx for U, we get equation number 10, which gives us the expression for total energy of the system. Now taking the terms outside the integral sign which are independent of x, we get expression for energy E as given by equation number 11. Now the equation number 9 and 11, the one which tells us about the total number of particles of the system, and the equation 11 tells us about the total energy of the system. They can be further studied under two conditions. First one is when A is less than 1, that is the parameter alpha is positive, that will be the case of weak degeneracy. And second case is when A is much larger than 1 or the parameter alpha is negative, and this will be the case of strong degeneracy. For weak degeneracy, taking alpha positive and A less than 1, equation 9, we are using here only the integral part, which is 2 divided by square root of pi integral 0 to infinity x raised to power 1 by 2 dx divided by A inverse e raised to power x plus 1. Now simplifying this integral and using a result of standard integral, we finally get equation number 12. On the similar lines, simplifying the equation number 11 and using the same standard integral result, we solve equation number 11, and the integral part from equation number 11 is shown in equation number 13. Now using these values, the simplified expressions for the integrals that we have derived, using those in equation number 9 and 11, we get the expressions for n and e as given by equation number 14 and 15. Now in this step, we are going to divide equation number 15 by equation number 14 to find out the average energy of each particle of the system, which is equal to E by n, and using expressions 14 and 15, we have simplified it to finally get the expression of E by n as it is equal to 3 by 2 kT into the bracketed term as 1 plus A over 2 raised to power 5 by 2 minus A cube divided by 3 raised to power 5 by 2, and the higher terms carrying higher powers of A. Now as we are discussing the case of weak degeneracy, that is for A less than 1, the terms carrying A can be neglected in comparison to 1 in the bracket here. Thus we get E by n equal to 3 by 2 kT, or you can say the energy E is equal to 3 by 2 n kT. This expression for energy is same as that for classical ideal gas. Thus we can say for A less than 1, the degeneracy in Fermi gas is small, because degeneracy is a measure of deviation in the behavior of Fermi gas from that of an classical ideal gas. So, because the expression for energy is same as that for classical ideal gas, that's why we conclude that in this situation, when parameter A is less than 1, degeneracy in Fermi gas is small. Now the second case for strong degeneracy, when the parameter alpha is negative and the parameter A is greater than 1. In this situation, degeneracy becomes more prominent, and from equation 14, retaining only the term carrying A, we get the expression of N as Gs into V multiplied by 2 pi mkt divided by h square raised to power 3 by 2 into A, or you can say, just rearranging the terms, we get the expression for A, the degeneracy parameter, as A equal to 1 over Gs into h square over 2 pi mkt raised to power 3 by 2 into N by V. You can see in this expression that A depends upon N by V, which is the density of the Fermi gas. It depends upon temperature of the system, and A also depends upon M, which is the mass of the fermion. Degeneracy parameter A increases as density of the fermion gas, that is N by V, increases, and as temperature of the system decreases. So under these conditions, the parameter A increases. That means the Fermi gas becomes highly degenerate, or we can say it is a case of strong degeneracy, and the Fermi gas will show a behavior which is highly deviated from that of a classical ideal gas under these conditions.